Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. And as you can see, it's a really nice day here. We've had yesterday and today, sunny days, no cloud in the sky at all. I mean, it's really beautiful out there. Yesterday it was in the mid 60s. Today it's in the mid to yeah, I guess mid 50s. And I hear that it's going to be soggy probably the rest of the week. So, but that's what it is. I mean, this is weather here in Maine now, and and so it just as we approach you know, spring and summer, it'll get better. It'll get warmer, and I'm gonna try and see if I can't get Smokey there to want to ride in my truck again, because the last time I tried to put her in the damn pickup, she was like, no, you know, I'm not gonna do it, you know, scared shitless, I guess, that, you know, she was gonna be taken someplace bad or something, or maybe she just didn't want to ride in the truck. I don't know. They say cats don't like riding in vehicles, but I gotta think, you know, hey, you know, maybe a little ride or something, you know, would be okay, I guess. I mean, I did take her as far as the PC gas station, which isn't even a mile up the road, and I had to turn around and drive her back because she just wasn't settling. She just wasn't going to have it. So, I mean, I don't know. But I can't just let her out. She'll run away, or, you know, or some damn thing, you know, and it's too bad that, you know, get a nice day like that and she's cooped up in the damn house, you know. So, I don't know. Anyway, this story today had come out that I wasn't even following and didn't even know anything about. So it was kind of a stunner to me to find out that this was even happening. But a lady down in Florida was sentenced a month in jail. And what she did, she sold President Biden's daughter's diary for $40,000. She gave it to some right-wing group so they could use it to try and find ways to attack the president or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Information. And this article here that was written at the AP, and it's written by Larry Newmister, entitled "Florida Woman is Sentenced to a Month in Jail for Selling Biden's Daughter's Diary." A Florida mother was sentenced Tuesday, that's today, to a month in prison and 3 months of home confinement for stealing and selling President Joe Biden's daughter's diary 4 years ago. 4 years ago now, to the conservative group Project Veritas. Veritas, V-E-R-I-T-A-S. Never heard of them. Amy Harris was sentenced in Manhattan federal court by Judge Laura Taylor Swain, who called the Palm Beach, Florida woman's actions quote-unquote despicable. Harris pled guilty to a conspiracy charge in August of 2022, admitting that she received $20,000 of the $40,000 that was paid by Project Veritas for personal items belonging to the president's daughter, Ashley Biden. Project Veritas was founded in 2010, identifies itself as a news organization. It is best known for conducting hidden camera stings that have embarrassed news outlets, labor organizations, and Democratic politicians. A tearful Harris apologized for enabling Ashley Biden's private writings to be sold after she found the diary and other items at a friend's Delray Beach, Florida home in 2020, where prosecutors said Ashley Biden believed her items were safely stored after she temporarily stayed there in spring of 2020. Quote, "I do not believe I am above the law," unquote, Harris said after a prosecutor urged a prison sentence following her failure to appear at numerous sentencing dates on the grounds that she was consumed with caring for her two children, ages 8 and 6. Quote, "I am a survivor of long-term domestic abuse and sexual trauma," unquote, she told the judge. With a lawyer for Ashley Biden observing from the courtroom's spectator section, Harris apologized for the president's daughter, saying she regrets making her childhood and life public. In announcing the sentence, Swain noted that Harris and a co-defendant, Robert Kurlander of nearby Jupiter, Florida, had first tried unsuccessfully to sell Ashley Biden's belongings to then-President Donald Trump's 2020 presidential campaign. The judge said that Harris, besides being motivated by greed, had hoped to impact the nation's political landscape. Kurlander, who has not yet been sentenced, and Harris had each pleaded guilty to conspiracy to transport stolen property across state lines. Defense attorney Anthony Sassuti urged no prison time, citing his client's traumatic life and her efforts to care for her children while recovering from abuse and violence. Quote, "She carries the shame and stigma of her actions," unquote, he said. Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Sobelman urged a prison sentence, saying Harris had exhibited a pattern, quote, "of disrespect for the law and the justice system," unquote. Quote, "Miss Harris is not the victim in this case," unquote, Sobelman said. Quote, "Miss Biden is the victim in this case," unquote. He said Harris, in the summer of 2020, had stolen Ashley Biden's diary, a digital storage card, books, clothing, luggage, and, quote, everything she could get her hands on, unquote, in the hopes she, quote, could make as much money as she could. Quote, "She wanted to damage Miss Biden's father," unquote, he said. Harris was told to report to prison in July. As she left the courthouse, she declined to speak. The lawyer for Ashley Biden also declined to comment, though he submitted a letter to the judge on his client's behalf a day earlier that was not immediately put in the court record. You know, it's funny that, you know, some people who get caught up in a crime, that they've done something that's unethical, you know, and troublesome, I guess, you know, in a lot of different ways. How all of a sudden these people will confess to, oh, I was abused, I was sexually assaulted, I was this, I was that, as if they're offering up reasons why they did what they did. We're talking about stealing a diary, suitcase of clothes, other things like that. How does that fit in with suffering a trauma of domestic abuse, sexually assaulted? You know, how does those two equate together or come together? You see what I'm saying? It's like a person that starts fires, okay, on purpose. You could probably see the abuse connecting in some way to that, to a person doing shit like that, okay? That maybe some way they were abused at home when they did that. This, on the other hand, this is a political thing. I mean, she deliberately targeted Biden's daughter, whom she probably don't even really know that well at all. But yet, she went after her belongings, stole her belongings, and knew they belonged to her and stole them, and then sold it. The diary, I guess, I don't know about the rest of this stuff, but the diary, she sold to this fucking right-wing outfit that calls itself, oh, we are journalists, okay? And they're nothing but, you know, people looking for anything they can find to throw against the wall against Democrats, okay? It's no different than Fox News or Newsmax or whoever you want to call. She knows where she can sell this stuff to get it, okay? How did her sexual abuse or anything like that she claims she suffered have any motivation at all in what she did there? Okay? I would really like to know that. And of course, she's not going to answer any questions about it, which I'm sure the press was probably wanted to get at. You know, why did you bring that up? Okay, like that had anything to do with what you did. The two have nothing to do with each other at all. It's two different kind of things, two scenarios, have no correlation. Okay, you're bringing that up for sympathy. That's pure and simple what they were trying to do. And the judge fell for it, because I would have given her more than a month in prison for that. Okay, for what she did. Because not only did she steal something and cross state lines, which is a federal thing now, but, you know, she did this as sort of a hit job, you know, against the Biden family. I mean, that's sort of, you know, hey, you know, you're trying to smear somebody in this illegal fashion you got through theft, okay? Don't you think that deserves more than 3 months in lockup in your home and a month in jail? I mean, come on, think about that. She got off light. If you ask me, I think that the sentence should have been a lot harsher than that. Because if it had been my daughter and somebody stole her diary and tried to make that all public, okay, you know, hey, I would have wanted to see some satisfaction here. And to me, that doesn't equate satisfaction. And I don't think a lot of people who read that article did, because you look at the comments down this article here, and a lot of people were really dismayed at, you know, at the judge here for being, you know, so light about, you know, basically a slap on the hand, okay? I don't care how well, you know, she played on the judge's sympathy, but I don't think the judge was really against her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a part of me that thinks maybe the judge was like, shit, she got caught, you know. I wish she'd been able to, you know, get the, you know what I'm saying? I get the feeling that maybe the judge was all for her, you know, and didn't want to give her too harsh a sentence just to, you know. You gotta remember, we've already had some judges that have shown sympathy for MAGAs and the people that support Trump. We've already seen that here, okay? Like Eileen Cannon there. Eileen Loose Cannon, I call her. Okay, we know there's judges out there that are sympathetic to him. This could have been one of them. Okay, this could have been one of them, and that's the reason why she didn't really get a harsh punishment for what she did. You know, selling, you know, a diary that belonged to the president's daughter for $40,000. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, I feel like there's really a gap there when it comes to this. And as long as Trump is out there, okay, folks, as long as Trump is out there in whatever capacity, whether he's in prison, whether he's running for president, or whether he's just out there just doing nothing but playing golf, okay, he's going to have his sycophants, okay? He's going to have his sycophants. And I know some people think that the closer we get to November, the more he'll diminish in the public eye. Maybe so, okay? But whether win or lose, he's still going to be out there, okay? He's still going to be fighting his battles against the justice system. He's still going to be doing whatever underhanded deals he's got to do to fight that system, okay? He's still going to be out there, okay? And as long as he's out there and he's talking his grift and all that shit, people are still going to line up to go see him talk. They're still going to reach into their wallets and give him their last dollar. You know, that's the world we live in here in the United States right now. What is it? 25 to 30% of the country consider themselves MAGA, I guess. I don't know what big of a pie that is. Who could say? It's probably less than it was years ago, but it's still enough out there to make a lot of noise. Okay, a lot of fucking noise. And people like this lady here, they're a dime a dozen. Somebody else will be doing the same damn thing. They'll find something about Biden, or somebody knows something that got slighted by Biden in some way, and they're going to build that up to be some big scandal. They can't find anything on Biden, okay, to try to impeach him on or anything. If they did, they'd have had it already, and he'd already be impeached. But, you know, they ain't got nothing. They've got nothing. You know, how many years have they been investigating his son here, okay? Okay, and the thing of it is that people, the Republicans, by and large, are bored to tears with Hunter Biden. They just don't want to hear any more about it, because it's just this endless trail here of tears where there's no hope in sight that there's ever going to be any smoking gun to be used against the president, okay? It's never going to happen. They know this. They won't say it, but they know this, okay? So anytime, you know, Hunter Biden's name is brought up in the press, people just aren't really interested in that anymore, because there's nothing there. We know that now. And, you know, I feel like what this woman was doing was a Hail Mary, I think, by the Republican, by the MAGA cult, I should say, a Hail Mary to try to get some dirt on Biden. I mean, to go to his daughter's diary, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, talk about scraping, you know, reaching for, you know, too far ahead. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking way they got anything on Biden if they have to do this, if they got to resort to this. All right? Sure, it might mean a few headlines for this this Republican outfit here, but who's really going to read it? Only the fucking choir, right? They're just preaching to the choir. Nobody else outside of that choir is going to give two shits about what they report on concerning that diary, okay? Because there's nothing there. All right? Nothing that needs to be put out in public, okay? And that certainly would be in violation of many laws, I would think, having private information disseminated without their permission, okay? But I feel like there's a sense, you know, I think in the Republican establishment out there that, you know, they played every card they could find, and there's nothing left, and they're approaching an election. We're approaching November, and what have we got? What have they got? You know what I'm saying? What the hell do they got? They're really sitting down. You got to sit down and think about that. Look in your hands, and what have you got against Biden? Nothing. All you got are just some bumper sticker talking points from Fox News that, if you put under a microscope, have no fucking water held in them. Okay, there's nothing there. Okay, there's just nothing there. And, you know, it seems recently, you know, some of the people at Fox have been have come to the point where they say, well, we can't deny it anymore. The economy is doing better in some areas in the country. You know, Biden succeeded in this, and you know, what's Trump doing? Trump hasn't done anything. You know, they're getting sick of Trump's empty speeches that he gives at these rallies where he's saying nothing. He talks a lot, but he doesn't say a whole lot. Okay, he mumbles and stutters and, you know, slurs his words like a drunk, okay, which is not what it is. It's just that he spent so many years snorting up cocaine. He's fried his brain is what he's done, you know, at his age, where, you know, most guys at his age can speak pretty well. He can't. Okay, it's like there's certain words or certain things he says that just come out all wrong, and he knows that. He catches himself doing that, and he's like, oh, you know, now he knows it's going to get all over the YouTube or something. But, you know, he's not the candidate that they need to win a presidency. Okay, he can't convince the people who are not convinced, okay, already. He's not gaining more loyalists. He's just losing loyalists. He's losing people, okay? And he should be, right now, he ought to be out there trying to gain supporters, but he's not, okay? No matter what you see in the polls, people, remember what I told you before in the previous video, the media is interested in seeing this come into a horse race, because that's how they make their money. okay, when people are watching the news to keep an eye on who's winning the race. It's not going to look very good if Biden's way the hell out ahead of him in the polls, which I'm sure is what the truth is as far as the a country's opinion goes. So no, what they're doing is they do targeted polling in certain red districts, okay, to get information that way. So that way they can back it up and say, well, we weren't lying, we got it right from this district. Yeah, well, it's all Republican that's living there, asshole. Of course they're going to say that, you know. So they take those numbers and they throw them out there like, oh, Biden and Trump are neck and neck. No, don't believe that for a second, people. The evidence is contrary to what the polling is telling you right now. The Republican Party is in shambles right now. Half of them don't even want to see Trump's face anymore, okay? And you got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there trying to start a fight inside the party by unseating their speaker. You got Lauren Boebert, who's, you know, she can't even win the district she chose to run in, okay? The people in that district don't like her, so she's probably going to lose her seat. Republican Party is in disarray. They want to get rid of all the bad elements inside their party right now. Trump's one of them, okay? Yeah, there's going to be some pushback from the cult, but believe me, it's a civil war going on inside the Republican Party, and it's all because of the bad choices that party has made over the last 10 years, or maybe even further back if you ask me, but more recently, you know, some of the worst choices they've made in the last 10 years. It's all come home to roost now. You know, they finally decided that we can't get anywhere with these people because their egos are so super inflated that they want to one-up each other all the time, and nobody's allowed to get ahead of the other. You know, we thought we were doing the right thing by putting a guy, a person, or a woman in there who had these beliefs, but now they're not interested in winning their seats. They want to make sure that everybody else around them fails. You know, that nobody surpasses them. Okay, what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing right now, she wants herself to be Speaker in the Congress. That's never going to happen. Republicans don't like her that much. Okay? They don't like her that much. They know what she is. So forget it, Marge. You're not going to get it. But, you know, right now they got this, what is it, a one-seat majority now? Okay? They've got no majority, if you ask me, because it only takes, you know, a couple of Democrats to overturn whatever they try to do. So they're basically toothless now, the Republican Congress. Okay, they're toothless now. They've got nothing. And Trump, he's not going to offer anything to them. Okay, why is he running for president? It ain't for you, it's not for me. He's trying to keep his ass out of jail is what he's running for president for. If he's president, he can pardon himself. Who would have think you could do that as a president? I mean, wouldn't that be the last thing you'd want to give a president, is the power to pardon himself because of, you know, because of crimes he committed? You don't want that. You want that authority to fall on somebody else, to let them decide, you know. But no, he wants to run for president so he could stay out of jail, okay? And what do you think he's going to try to do in order to stay in as president, okay? He's going to probably pull a stunt just like what Netanyahu's done over there in Israel. Start some big fucking war somewhere where, oh, I can't leave. You know, I'm staying in here. I'm going to force myself in here for another 4 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? How do you know he ain't going to pull some kind of stunt like that? We already know the Supreme Court's not going to step up to the plate when it comes to defending the Constitution of this country, okay? Forget them. So who's that authority going to fall to? You know, who's going to be the one to hold him accountable for overstepping himself? You see, the lily pad is ripe right now for a crooked dictator to go sit in there in the White House and get away with doing what he wants. It's more ripe now than ever because there's all the wrong people want to see him back in there as president. All the wrong fucking people, you know.
This is me.
This is me.
me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Doing. Kevin McCarthy abandoned you, Ken Buck abandoned you, and Mike Gallagher just announced on Friday that he's going to resign.
The majority is down to just one. Seems like Republicans are in complete disarray.
Feels like these guys are basically walking out and giving you all the finger.
Hope future Speaker Hakeem Jeffries sent you a nice fruit basket today.
I filed the motion to vacate today. The clock has started. It's time for our conference to choose a new speaker.
What person that can pass a competency test would want to be the Speaker of the House?
The Freedom Caucus right now has been a disaster.
I feel we are seeing yet another tantrum by a tiny faction.
God help us. The House Republican majority is a dysfunctional embarrassment.
It's like trying to herd cats.
You think your job in life is to grandstand and complain while the other team runs over you?
This is why conservatives call the GOP the stupid party, by the way.
Just pay his bills. Phantom of the mega. He's there, the phantom of the mega.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, so the other story here for today that came out, published today, Tuesday, from Yahoo News. It's titled, Trump Legal News Brief. Trump motion to delay hush money trial rejected by second appeals court judge in 2 days. Written by David Knowles. See, let me, before I go any further here, see how they title that Trump Legal News Brief? I mean, they got to actually have a subsection in the news just to keep up with Trump's legal problems, so they call it Trump Legal News Brief. I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, how, in any time in history has that ever happened? I mean, Jesus. They got to have a subsection of news just for Trump to cover all the shit he's being called to answer for. That's really something. I can't imagine how people in that party can't, you know, their stomach don't turn over that. Oh, let's see. Appeals court judge rejects Trump bid to delay trial over gag order challenge. If the case begins on April 15th, Trump will become the first former president in U.S. history to be tried on criminal charges in a courtroom. Let's see. Only minutes after hearing arguments from Trump's lawyers on a motion to delay the start of the trial until after they could appeal Merchan's expanded gag order, Kern denied the motion. Although Trump is appealing Kern's decision with the full appeals court, that will not delay the Monday start of the hush money trial, meaning that Trump will still be bound by Merchan's gag order until at least April the 29th, when the appeals court has requested written arguments on the matter. Merchan expanded his original gag order on Trump after the former president repeatedly attacked his daughter, who served as president for Authentic Campaigns, a group that fundraises for Democratic political candidates. An appeals court has already ruled that Merchan can remain on the case, saying his daughter's work does not represent a conflict of interest. Bragg has charged Trump with 34 counts of falsifying business records stemming from his 2016 payment of $130,000 to Daniels to cover up an alleged extramarital affair. On Monday, a second appeals court judge rejected Trump's motion to delay the hush money trial while he seeks to have the venue changed to a courtroom outside of Manhattan. Yeah, he's trying to delay, like I said, all the way up till November. That's really the only thing he got. I mean, because he knows if he doesn't try to push for delays, these things are going to come down on him way before the election, and it could hurt him worse in the polls, or at least in people's opinion for that. Man, fuck the polls. I mean, it's just the nation's opinion of him is what's going to hurt. I mean, it's pretty bad already. I mean, there's a lot of people right now who are, basically turning their back on him and looking at DeSantis like that's a better choice. So I think, DeSantis would be the guy that, that the cult maggots here are going to probably want to go to after Trump loses this November. They're probably going to want to push him out there. But, DeSantis, well, there's so much baggage and shit on him to remind people of, because I'm sure people have forgotten already, when it comes to politics, people don't have much of a memory of things. And when it comes time for him, all the stuff's going to be brought back to remind people just how hateful DeSantis is and how he's going to be very bad for people's freedoms and privacy and all that, when he runs. But, Trump right now, I mean, like I said, he's playing the delay game. But I'll tell you what's going to happen is when he does lose there in November, which I really think that he's going to lose. I can't see how he could possibly win unless he cheats his ass off, okay? He's, after the election, next year, he's going to have all kinds of verdicts coming down on him from all over the damn country, okay? I think that's what's going to be verdict year, will be that. Right now, it's all trial year for Trump. delaying till election. When he loses after that, it's time to pay the piper. And then next year will be verdict year for Trump and a lot of things. And the family is going to take a ton of hits from the Justice Department. They're going to lose a lot. You know, I think that's what's going to happen. But right now, because nobody has any guts to take and hold him accountable for any wrongdoing or anything like that, they're going to let him slide down this river as far as they can let it go. And they won't do anything because they think, well, he's dangerous now, but he won't be after November. Well, if you think he's dangerous now, why wouldn't he be dangerous after November? Okay, you find him guilty on something. If you think he's got people that'll go do stuff for him, why would you feel any safer? I mean, look at this clown that went and attacked Nancy, or tried to attack Nancy Pelosi at her home. Okay, don't you think that guy there would have still done it? You know, no matter what the hell she was doing, you know, if she was still speaker or not. I mean, come on. So, it's just, to me, it just seems like, you know, you're either do what you got to do, your job, do your fucking job, or just don't do it at all. If you're not going to hold him accountable for anything, then why go through the business of taking him to court, doing all this stuff, wasting people's money, if all you're going to do at the end is just exonerate him, okay, or just slap his hand, okay? $500 million just to slap somebody's hand is really not justice in my eyes. Okay, that's just a circus, is what that is. Okay, having him go around threatening people in off-the-hand ways, like the judge's daughter and stuff like that, to rile up his base, and you're not doing anything to enforce the gag order you put on him. Okay, why even put a gag? It's meaningless. The gag order is meaningless if you're not going to back it up. Okay, why even bother? Like I said, it's just fun and games, you know, the way I see it. And no matter how sincere the judges may be on coming down on Trump for things, at the end of the day, they really aren't doing anything at all. Okay, and I feel like there's a big disconnect there between what Trump's facing and what our justice system is willing to make him pay, you know, for those things that he did wrong. Okay, they're going to make his crimes look really small because of the punishment they're you know, just willing to give him. Okay, but not a whole lot. Okay, like, okay, so you killed 1 million people, we'll take away your car for the day or something. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, 1 million people's death wasn't worth much of anything, I guess, to the justice system, you know. And when I'm talking about 1 million people, I'm talking about the pandemic, where he had people believing that ivermectin was going to cure him, or drinking down bleach or whatever the fuck he was telling people, or not telling them. Okay, that got a lot of people killed, and did nothing to help the rest of the country, for that matter, you know, to help them prepare themselves or to get medications or something. He didn't do anything. He played golf. He fucked around, okay, while he was president. People were dropping dead like flies all around the country, and he didn't care, okay? And it wasn't until Biden got in there when things started to show up on the shelves that we needed, that should have been there a year before, okay? And like I said, he's responsible for that. But that's not going to be one of the charges he's going to face. You see what I'm saying? That's what our justice system thinks about that. Nobody's going to hold him to any accountability to that. All right? So that makes Donald Trump one of the biggest mass killers in U.S. history. He's a serial killer, in my opinion, but maybe not serial, but you know, he, in his convoluted way, he got a lot of people killed, and they didn't have to die. Okay, they didn't have to die. So, but like I was saying here earlier about DeSantis, I mean, he's going to be the go-to guy for the MAGA movement there next year, after Trump loses, because they're not going to pin their wagon on that pony anymore after that. I mean, they're almost not willing to now. You know, because there's already a movement of people, of maggots out there looking for somebody else already, from some reports that I've seen online. A lot of people are really disillusioned with Trump now. And it's largely because Trump won't shut up. You know, he ought to take those gag orders as gifts, because the more he talks, okay, the worse he makes himself look. You know, every time he talks, people pick up, well, they record what he says, right? Then they go back and they pick apart what he says, they lift things out of what he says, and they put it out as an ad against him online. So he says stuff that's really ridiculous, and the people, you know, basically on the internet will remind you, look, remember when he said that? Okay, it went over your head when you heard it live, but let's look at it again and show you. You know, it's like, I mean, they were quick to take apart Katie Britt's speech, her reprisal speech after Biden's State of the Union speech. Remember? I mean, they took that right from start to finish, and they trashed her with that. Yet they don't do that with Trump, even though he says a lot more stupid things than she ever did in that fucking video, okay, or that, you know, that she made. The thing of it is that those that are trying to protect him are also the same people out there trying to hang him, because they don't tell him, will you shut the hell up and not say anything? Because every time you open your yap, you say something stupid, and the left wing gets it, and they parade that all over the place, you know, like the Lincoln Project. The Lincoln Project, they've been tearing him apart. Okay, they've been finding things that he said 6 years ago, that he said yesterday, and they've been making montages, and you know, I mean, they're making the worst campaign on him than ever. I mean, they really are not holding back with Trump. Okay. And it's hard not to, because it's so in your face when he does stuff that's dumb. You know? I mean, it'd be different if it was like something he said off mic or something like that, you know, where somebody might have heard it in the background. No, he's right on the podium with the microphone, and he's just shouting this stuff out. And it's like he doesn't even care what he says. You know, he's repeating Hitler, some of the things he said in the speech, and he's talking about how he's gonna, you know, be a dictator on day one, and all this. I mean, he says all this stuff, and it gets recorded, and it's put together in campaign ads. Okay? And when the judge tells him to shut his mouth, to put a gag order on him, it ought to be a gift, you know, or hint, take a hint. The judge is trying to tell you to shut up, you know, especially the ones that are on your side, trying to tell you to shut up. Stop talking, because you're not helping yourself any. Okay, and it's bad enough that we got to see what you're guilty of, or what they're charging you for, but it's worse when you come out and you say these things and you just justify the reason why these things are happening to you. It's very hard for people in your party or your cult to defend you when you're running around saying stuff like that, unless they're living in a damn bubble and they don't hear a thing you're saying. But it's very difficult for your cultists out there to defend you. You're running around saying this stuff. So, you know, you would think somebody would have told him that, or explained it to him, like, you know, hey, enough is enough. I mean, just have him sit him down in front of the Lincoln Project and have him watch all the friggin' campaign stuff they've made about him in the last 6 months. I mean, it would probably embarrass the shit out of most people, but I don't know about him. You know, I don't know about him, whether he cares or not. I mean, you think if he really wants to exonerate himself of all of his crimes when he's in the White House, he'd be smarter about it, wouldn't he? He wouldn't want to run his mouth. He wouldn't disobey gag orders. You know what I'm saying? He'd be playing it cool right now. But for some reason, he's got it in his head that he just doesn't have to, that he can be who he is, okay? Despite the protestations from his own followers, he can be who he is and just go out there and keep talking, and it's not going to backfire on him. You know? I guess, you know, when a guy can't be a good businessman, and he can't be a good politician or a president, you know, and he can't seem to be a very good public speaker because of the things that he says, what the hell good is he at anything? I mean, why would somebody want him to be president when he screws up on everything? You know, let alone the bad shit that he did as president. Let's just look at him in his whole career as a human being. Okay, he's fucked up since day one. You know, he's the biggest fuck up there is. And please don't tell me, oh, it's not just Trump, you know, it's his staff. He's got the worst staff. I mean, all the people that he picks, he fires. you know, and he leaves a trail of friggin' bad will behind him from people that he's shit on and all that. I mean, he likes nobody. So whatever staff you think he's got that's going to hold him or prop him up as a president, trust me, he ain't going to want that. They're only there for the moment. When he gets sick of them, he'll fire them, you know. And he just, and since a guy like that can't take any criticism from anybody, because we've already known some people have tried to explain to him, you know, the where-tos about how to be a leader, he gets rid of them. Don't you tell me where the bear shits in the wood. I'll do what I damn well please. I mean, that's basically his attitude. Okay? Well, he talks back to military leaders and stuff like that. He won't listen to nobody. I mean, when he was voted out of office, the country was this close, at least the government was this close to mutinying on his ass. Okay? If he'd have stayed in there another term, this country would have been in a civil war. In Washington D.C. There'd have been a house cleaning, big time. Okay, right now it's all just on Trump. But if he was still in there as president, it would have been all on Trump plus everybody else, and then the other side going after them. I mean, it would have been a friggin' free for all. You know, I can't imagine how bad it would be right now if he was still president. I can't. I'm glad he didn't win. You know, I knew he wasn't going to win, but I'm glad he didn't, because if he had, it would have been way worse than what people are experiencing right now in our country. So that's why I say, you know, at the end of these videos and stuff, I got a thing that says, keep America Trumpless. You better fucking believe it, because I'll tell you, Trump is the death nail to this country if he wins this November, okay? So it needs to be... You know, people, you need to remember that, you know, all elections are important. They all are. And if we had taken them more seriously in the past, I don't think we'd be ending up with leadership like we got today. Okay? This is our fault. This is our fault for not voting, even in the local elections. Okay? It's our fault when we sit these things out and we only vote in the important ones. Every election is important. Your voice has to be heard. Okay? Your common sense or your lack of common sense, whatever, has to be put in the ballot box. Okay, we need to know. But if you sit it out because you're too arrogant and you think that it's not going to matter or anything like that, you're wrong. If it didn't matter, we wouldn't be hip deep in shit, you know, in a lot of things in our country, you know, with the rampant gun crimes and shit that go on. Okay, our voices would have been heard, things would have been done about it. Your participation in government is a must. Okay, it's not optional. It's not optional, folks. It's a must. There's a reason why we have to vote, and it's because our duty is there, pure and simple. Okay, you don't have to be elected to be a voter. You are a voter, and when you have that right to vote, believe me, you got to use it. You have to use it. Whether you like going there or not, use the fucking power to vote. It's your vote, it's your voice, it's your power, it's your only chance to be able to say something, okay, that they're going to listen to. Votes matter to these fuckers. Okay, if it didn't, why are they trying to rig elections? Why is the right wing out there trying to redistrict if your vote doesn't matter? Okay, it does matter, and it scares the shit out of them. They don't want to see you vote. Because the fewer people that do, the better chance they got to win. It levels the playing field, okay? And because their side is such a cult-like atmosphere, okay, these people are going to vote and, you know, and win in small numbers, okay? But unless the left gets out there in mass, okay, they're always going to win. That's how they win. That's how you get people like Trump in there, okay? That's how you get them involved. Marjorie Taylor Greens and Lauren Boeberts. That's how these fools get in there, is because other people are not voting when they should be. Stop it. Get out there and fucking vote. Do yourself a favor. One thing, they say, oh, you're born, you make money, you pay your taxes, and you die. Well, in there is also voting. That's, in this country, voting is just as important as those other things. Okay? So keep that in mind, okay? It's not something that you can just take or leave. It's a right. And you have the right to vote. Use it before it's gone. Because trust you, that's where our country's headed. They don't want people voting anymore in this country. All right, and the only way you're going to stop idiots like that from getting in there and making that happen is by voting against them and keeping them the fuck out of office. We don't need any more idiots like that, or any more dictators or Hitler wannabes floating around out there. So, okay, that's it for today. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. So please subscribe, comment, and I will read your comments, all right, and answer them. So treat each other nice, and keep your ears open for any colds or flus or whatever the hell's going around. So keep yourself prepared, I guess, and get shots if you need to get shots. So I'll talk to you later, everybody.